Hello and welcome! Back in the day, developing a portable version of a console game took a lot of time. So instead of doing it themselves, a developer could license or contract out their game to one or more developers, so that way their game could launch on all platforms at the same time. But weirdly, this didn't happen with LEGO Star Wars 2. For reasons, Traveler's Tales just decided to port the PlayStation 2 games themselves, instead of handing it off to Amaze Entertainment, who was already handling the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance ports. So does this mean that LEGO Star Wars 2 for the PSP just got the second-hand treatment? Or perhaps it could be one of the greatest portable LEGO Star Wars game of all time? And to find out, we need to take a closer look. Check out our games from us at 16-bit games, like New Berserk. Survive the endless gauntlet of enemies as you clear each room, but watch out, some enemies can't be killed. Play today for free from the Apple App Store, Google Play, or the Amazon App Store. Compared to the console titles, everything appears to be in place with LEGO Star Wars 2 on the PSP. From the title screen to the 18 levels and more. It's astonishing the technical achievement that was pulled off here, especially compared to the DS game, which needed to be created from the ground up. But a benefit of building the game from the ground up is that the game can utilize the unique and different features of the consoles it's on. And for the most part, the PSP's performance and unique features are utilized, especially compared to the DS game. There's lots of on-screen enemies, and the levels can be very detailed. And just because the PSP doesn't have a second controller doesn't mean that it's missing multiplayer. Just like the console titles, you can play with friends, you just need 2 PSPs and 2 games, and you're off destroying Mos Eisley. But sadly, this is where the problems of porting a game from the consoles to the portables starts rearing its ugly head. For instance, on multiplayer, if you lose a connection with your other player, you, the host, gets booted to the main menu and you lose all your progress in the level, and you have to start it again. You can't even start multiplayer in a level like the console games. On top of all that, the game has very slow loading, and the performance is abysmal at times, so much so that you might want to consider modding your PSP so that you can run a backup of the game and overclock your CPU so that the game doesn't stutter or drop frames. Add to that the list of various graphical issues, missing content like no NPCs in the hub, and bugs which can crash the PSP, and it becomes obvious where the corners were cut in order to get this game to just work on the PSP. But none of this really crossed my mind while I was playing through the game. Don't get me wrong, it is here, but I find it's infrequent, and when it does rear its head, it's not that distracting. In fact, I was more distracted with the inconsistencies in the story mode as I was playing through it. The issues that I have with LEGO Star Wars 2's story mode isn't that it's a bad retelling of the Star Wars movies, but rather a distracting retelling of Star Wars. The events of the movies are completely out of order, some omitted, some elongated to better fit the gameplay. The characters in it have zero personalities other than slap happy or silly. And overall, it feels like I'm being told the story of Star Wars by a kid who's just playing with his Lego sets. But then it hit me. This game isn't trying to be a good Star Wars game. It's trying to be an amazing LEGO game. One where Star Destroyers can be massive and yet made out of very tiny pieces at the same time. Droidicas can be on Hoth, and Vader can play a game of stop hitting himself on Bespin. This is something that Star Wars probably wouldn't allow, but something that LEGO can absolutely do. And once I started playing the game like I was playing with my LEGO sets, I really began to enjoy the game. But is the PSP game more enjoyable than the DS game? I personally love the Amaze port of LEGO Star Wars 2. Sure, it had less levels. Sure, the details were lower, and there were so many more glitches and arguably less to do. But in a weird way, the DS game is a better LEGO game than the PSP version. It understands creativity so much more. Just take a look at the more robust character creator. Take a look at the more flushed out free play mode where you can select all the minifigures rather than a randomly assorted amount of minifigures. And in my view, the levels look a little more like LEGO, but that just might be because of the DS's graphics. Plus, the DS game allows for more ridiculous things like disco dancing ATSTs on the Death Star. But as much fun as the DS game is, the PSP game is a superior game. It's so much more stable, the graphics are so much better, and sure, the load times are longer, but what you're rewarded with is a much more enjoyable title. There's more to do, more to see, and sure, the free play mode is restrictive, but you can still have fun with it. So there you have it. If we were back in 2006, the PSP version of LEGO Star Wars 2 would have been the best portable version of LEGO Star Wars to buy, period. And in my view, it still would have been even after LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga came out for DS and even LEGO Star Wars 3 for the PlayStation Portable. But nowadays, LEGO Star Wars 2 is a bit harder to recommend. The Complete Saga is out on PC, which is not just a better game, but nowadays even the cheapest of laptops can run it, meaning it can be played on the go. On top of all of that, Traveler's Tale is making a new LEGO Star Wars game from the ground up, and it's coming out on Switch. So I'd wager that would probably be better than this old thing. But for what it is, LEGO Star Wars 2 for the PSP is a fun little game. Just make sure you create a backup of it before you play it. You'll thank me later. But anyways, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have yourself a good day, and as always, take care.